Well, blessed Tuesday to you as we come with your daily encouragement. I want to apologize. I wasn't able to get anything posted yesterday, but we're going to be looking at the theme upon which we studied on Sunday, which was basically to be rich toward God rather than to the world. And some people are forced into being rich toward God because they have everything taken away from them. Of course, the most famous of them being Job. But we also have kings and rulers of Israel and prophets and others. So we're going to have a little bit of a collection of different ones. First, we're going to start with two different kings. We're going to start with King Manasseh. Now, we don't always remember King Manasseh, except that he fell from power and he fell hard. And he later repented of the actions he took, or should I say, the actions he didn't take for doing the right thing during his lifetime. And his story is found in 2 Chronicles 33. Now, the encouraging part of that is that while Manasseh was unable to change his earthly situation, towards the end of his life, he was able to have some sort of reconciliation not only with God, but with his situation as being a former king of Israel. And so we hear from King Manasseh, or about it in Chronicles. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to the abominable practices of the nations whom the Lord drove out before the people of Israel. For he rebuilt the high places that his father Hezekiah had pulled down, and erected altars to the Baals, made sacred poles, and worshipped at all the host of heaven, and served them. He built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, In Jerusalem shall my name be forever. He built altars, and all the hosts of heaven, in two courts of the house of the Lord. He made his son pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom, practicing soothsaying and augury and sorcery, and he dealt with mediums and wizards. He did much evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him, the Lord, to anger. The carved images of the idol that he had made he set up in the house of God, of which God had said to David and to his son Solomon, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. I will never again remove the feet of Israel from the land which I appointed for your ancestors, if only you will be careful to do all that I commanded them, all the law, the statutes, and the ordinances given through Moses. Manasseh misled Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that they did more evil than the nations whom the Lord had destroyed before the people of Israel. The Lord spoke to Manasseh, to his people, but they gave no heed. Therefore the Lord brought against them the commanders of the army of the king of Assyria, who took Manasseh captive to manacles, bound him with fetters, and brought him to Babylon. While he was in distress, he entreated the favor of the Lord his God, and humbled himself greatly before the God of his ancestors. He prayed to him, and God received his entreaty. He heard his plea, and restored him again to Jerusalem and to his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that the Lord indeed was God. Afterward, he built the outer wall for the city of David, west of Gihon, in the valley reaching the entrance of the fish gate. And he carried it around Ophel, and raised it to the very great height. He also put the commanders of the army in all the fortified cities in Judah. And he took away the foreign gods and the idols from the house of the Lord, and all the altars that he had built on the mountain of the house of the Lord and in Jerusalem. And he threw them out of the city. He also restored the altar of the Lord and offered on it sacrifice of well-being and of thanksgiving, and he commanded Judah to serve the Lord, the God of Israel. The people, however, still sacrificed in the high places, but only to the Lord their God. So here you have a story which is unusual because a lot of times all we hear about is the ones who did evil and stayed doing evil, never repenting. And the Lord brought him back to power. Now that is significant, that it is never too late to repent and to turn. You may think that you're of an age that it is not easy to turn back. I know even in my middle ages right now, I am still amazed at how many things I'm still stuck in. But I had to remind myself with the Lord, every decision, every move that you make can be one towards life and can change the trajectory even late in life. Manasseh is that person who probably didn't think he had any reason to rejoice in the Lord, but the Lord restored his fortune. We're going to hear about his son Josiah in the next reading tomorrow. But both faced unimaginable odds. And it was wondering whether the next one would be better than the other one. And there's always a question, what use of it? What use is there if I repent? Well, my friends, we have something called eternity to look forward to. And the question will always be whether we have turned towards the living God or if we are going to continue running away like Jonah from the big fish or other things that we encounter in this life. Are you going to turn to where life is found, where hope is found? Yes, where even joy is found, even for someone like Manasseh. God bless you today. We trust that these continue to be words of encouragement. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.